All right, man. I ain't gonna drown everybody out too much, man, with the music. Them beats by my brother, man, Mayo Dawkins, man. He's still doing his thing, and hey, we finna collab and really turn it up a whole nother notch, man. So salute, man. Salute to everybody, man. When you come in, y'all already know, man. It's been a minute, man. I know it. Hey, I think enough people be on YouTube every day though to keep people entertained. You know what I'm saying? So salute, man. Much honor to everybody that slide through, man. Yo, Scotty Saturn, you already know, King. We in here, man. Turtle Island, Niji, Trauma Hawk. You know what I'm saying? The first three to jump in with the guard, man. You know. And that's what we here to do, man. We here to raise each other up and put each other on the vibration and frequency that can give us abundance, man, and clear our lives from this oppression. You know what I'm saying? So right now, man, you know, I know it might be, I know Hobart was live, man. So salute to Hobart, man. She stay getting it in, and much honor to her, man. I didn't really know she was going live until I scheduled this, got things set up. But I said, man, you know, I just rock with it. Most people probably gonna catch this on the playback anyway, man. I know my algorithm all out of whack, as far as people getting notifications, being able to, stay tuned in. So a lot of people, man, when y'all come in, you might have to hit the bell again if you haven't already, because I know they did do some changes to YouTube. So you might have to hit the bell again to make sure you get all notifications, man, because it's, back in effect, man. I'm gonna try to really keep it going this year as much as possible with bringing more clarity and really getting us up to part of where I feel we can really be at, man. Like I say, man, just keeping it in the road, man. It's been rough, Done had a couple of mishaps, man. You know what I'm saying? Everyday life stuff, man. And I'm having to utilize my time around these children and family that that really do support me. So it's just really just been that for me, man. I was gonna do this recap of the first American Godz, man. We did this on AP channel, well, his first channel, and that channel got taken down. So the American Godz part one that me, A1 and Aboriginal Power did, man, it's not even up. So we're just gonna do a quick, not quick, but we're gonna get into the topics that I was discussing, man. So it can just be in the category of what we need to ride with, man. A lot of stuff people still leaving out, I see, as far as how America really is basically fortified, stamped with being the biggest cultural civilization advanced in the world, man. And I'm gonna start with some of this good education system that we share today. We had it pretty much pre-contact, man. So I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I got a few extra sites that we can look at as well that actually clarify, just to give you a broader view of what's been taking place, man, over thousands of years of time, So share the live stream, man, whenever y'all get the chance. Try to stay tuned, man, because we're gonna turn it up a notch, man. And, hopefully, if anybody do want to join in and share some insight on the topic, you're more than welcome to join in. I'm gonna copy the link and post it in the chat, so that way anybody that do want to hop on in the time being, man, while I'm going at it, it might take, I don't know, it might not take that long. But in the meantime, of course, man, we gonna rock it out, man. So I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man, for those who is rocking with me. Like I said, share the live stream, thumbs it up, we finna get to it, man. Of course, man, discovering this American Indian encyclopedia, when I really came across it, man, I really wanted to present it to everybody, with all the content creators that was around at the time, man. I really wanted to get the people who really, was serious and who really was looking to push this thing to the top, man. I was hoping that we could all use this thing, as a unit, especially, at the time, going against a lot of the so-called Pan-Africans, man, because a lot of them guys really ain't real Pan-Africans. Real Pan-Africans actually agree with us as far as, the Aboriginal culture in history that we've been finding. So the rest of these guys, just basically acting as agent oppressors, wanting to keep people docile and dumbed out, not paying attention to, the great Americas, man. And you know, one of the things that I feel was needed was going over the compulsory education. And I do have a few pictures that we definitely can check out to just give some clarity on how we actually did have established education systems. Of course, this wouldn't be the most ancient depiction, you know what I'm saying? But this is one of the oldest schools in my area, Williamston, South Carolina, man. Of course, if you type up ancient American schools, it'll more than likely switch it to African American because of the socialism that's been accepted behind our people, man. So don't be afraid to check it out anyway, because it still shows that we had, we were fully dressed, you know, cooperative, and actually did have buildings and or whatever, most of them were churches, that be known as churches or church style buildings that our people actually went to school in. And as you see, this is one of the depictions. Uh, I think this one's right here was one that's down there in like Texas area. So whenever y'all get the chance, just kind of check out, just do the research, man. Look up you could say ancient Negro schools in America, or you could say ancient American schools. And you can find some pictures, man, that actually show us actually doing this type of education, man. So I'm just gonna read along. And this is, like I say, this was part of the first American Gods, man. A lot of people who supported that, I give much thanks and honor, man, for really looking out on that. It was a pay-per-view. The reason why we really started doing pay-per-views is because I noticed, well, a lot of people were taking information and making it their pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? A lot of information that we was sharing, a lot of people went behind the scenes and did their own rehashment of, what they felt was important of the information, and pretty much made their own pay-per-views out of it. Now, not to say that, there's any hate in there or anything, but it is kind of, it do make you feel a little, like you're unworthy of somewhat, if that's the right term, make you feel like you're not appreciated for people to do you like that. So it was just to make sure, that we actually receive, something for our time and effort just putting this stuff together. And we definitely didn't do it for somebody else to put a number on it and make sure, they get paid for stuff that our people been putting out for the past 6-7 years, basically, man. Me, A1 and AP read this whole encyclopedia together, and a lot of people wasn't really supportive of it at first, because a lot of people didn't care about hearing about the pyramids. A lot of people didn't care about nothing that was over 1,000 years old. People felt like they just needed to stick around 1700s. And I gotta admit, it was a little bit ahead of the time for people to kind of grasp and realize what was going on. But hey, it is what it is, man. But this is a topic that I chose: compulsory education. And as y'all see, it is pre-contact. Pre-contact basically just saying that, before any other foreign relation or association was being determined here, it was basically saying that, Americans all over, Mesoamerican, South American, and North American, including Arctic cultures, we had compulsory education. And so this is a form of education that's used today. And for it to be pre-contact, I'm not taking away to say that it didn't happen anywhere else, but we got it right here stamped, man. So I'm gonna read into it right quick, man. Compulsory education, once again, across the whole Americas, pretty much. Uh, Compulsory education is formal schooling that has mandatory attendance. Okay. All Aztec young people between the ages of 10 and 20 receive compulsory formal schooling. The Aztec Empire was established about 1100 AD in Mesoamerica. Male Aztec children who did not come from the ruling classes lived at schools called telpacales, which meant youth house. In Nahuatl, the Aztec language, that's what it meant. It says female children also attended these schools, but historians are not certain whether they boarded there or attended them as day schools. The young men and women were instructed separately. Okay. And one of those pictures will show you how they had the males and females separated. In one of them pictures I just showed. It says, these young men and women were instructed separately. However, both received training in singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. Okay, so just showing that we did have some culture about us, you know what I'm saying? It don't sound like we was in the woods counting sticks and leaves, According to Father Diego Duran, who observed the schools in the 1500s, students were taught to be well-mannered, to respect their elders, to serve, to obey, given papers on how they were to serve their lords, to move among them and be polite to them. All right. And that's something that, a lot of, we still teach this today, but it's becoming less and less. I see definitely over the internet. Oratory was also taught in these schools. During their schooling, the boys worked on projects such as carrying firewood for the temples, making roads, and repairing buildings. You see what I'm saying? So some highly sophisticated stuff. Okay. It says here, the main focus of their training was learning military skills. All right. It says see also military tactics. These skills included archery and sword fighting. So once again, pre-contact, sword fighting, archery, carrying firewood for the temples, making roads, repairing buildings. So we had buildings. You see what I'm saying? This is pre-contact. Children of nobles attended Calmecas, exclusive schools that were connected to a large temple. It says here they received leadership training with an emphasis on self-control, obedience, and discipline. And that's, like I say, man, it don't seem like too many savage people in this topic right here. I haven't seen anything savage yet. I haven't seen anything primitive. To me, this is highly advanced to be going on in what they call pre-contact. You see what I'm saying? You can't even really put a date on it because it's like, hey, it always have been happening. There was no beginning to this. So it says promising youth from the lower classes were also sometimes selected to attend these special schools. Okay. In addition to being groomed for government administrative positions, all right. So government administrative positions, okay. Students were trained for the priesthood and the military. So this is like I say, once again, it's sophisticated now. It says, according to Fray Duran, the classes taught at the Calmecas included instruction in the arts, military skills, religion, technological skills, and astronomy. Okay, so we even studying the skies. All right, I mean, it's almost I mean, how advanced can we get? Etiquette was also a major focus of the curriculum. Okay. In addition to hands-on instruction methods, students learn from studying textbooks. They see also books. So once again, books were pre-contact, you know, actual manuscripts. See what I'm saying? Students who attend the Kamekas were expected to perform community service. Unlike the manual labor engaged in by boarding school students, the children of the nobility helped the priests during ceremonies, okay, and engaged in other tasks that would prepare them for the responsibilities that they were expected to shoulder as adults. So they was being prepared. You see what I'm saying? This is a system that can work today. Says in South America, the Inca, whose empire was established in what is now Peru about 1100 AD, also had compulsory schooling for the sons of nobility. The Inca did not provide education for children of the lower classes. So they did things a little different around the time, you know. Teachers called Muatas in Quechua, the Inca language, instructed their students in a wide range of subjects, including astronomy, music, philosophy, history, religion, martial arts. Okay. Shout out to the capoeira, you know what I'm saying? Poetry and government, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, jujitsu going on and all this type of stuff, man. What we doing? What we talking about? We're talking about advanced people here. Students learn how to encode and read information from kupas or quipas, which is Gnostic strings that were used for accounting and to record laws and history. They were also given military training. Okay. Boys typically receive 4 years of schooling at a school in Cusco or Cusco, the Inca capital. Okay. The teachers lived in the schools, which were called Yaka Huwaki or teaching houses. Girls of conquered people that showed special talents were selected as chosen women at the age of 10. Okay. It says they were brought to Cusco and taught cooking, weaving, spinning, and other domestic arts as well as religion. After this training, the Inca emperor decided whether they would be placed to work in a temple or spend their lives serving him. So he had a little, seemed like a little, uh, dictatorship going on with the Inca at the time. It says, although not compulsory in the sense of Aztec and Inca schooling, other American Indian tribes had formal education systems long before the arrival of Europeans. For example, the Inuit of East Greenland received instruction in specific skills like whale hunting and kayak making for specialized instructors for a fee. Feats of strength and drum singing were also taught. So, once again, man, it say, let me go down. Oh yeah, that's it for that because it goes into concrete. But here's some of the sources, man, that you probably can find. It's kind of hard to find a lot of these sources online. So if you can take the time to, just kind of view what they showing right here, man, to give more clarity on, what type of compulsory education we had going on then, man. Like I say, just, you know, just this would be similar to how, it would look back then. Probably not exactly this style, but this is just showing you, hey, we had it together. This is not savagery. You didn't hear nothing about somebody in the woods doing anything. You heard complete advanced, skills in teaching. To from military to astronomy. I mean, it don't get much realer than that. So we're gonna go right here, man. Since we at the education, we can go over this consensus management, which is known right here in North America, man. Once again, pre-contact, you know, this is something, I felt was important to go over because it actually showed that, not only all over America, but especially North America specifically, we did take pride in, wanting to know what everybody wanted to vote on and make decisions of. So it says consensus management, pre-contact. They got it basically right here where we at, man. North America. It says management by consensus is the practice of making decisions based on the general agreement of the group. Many business leaders in the late 20th century believe this form of management is an enlightened one because it results in workers having a vested interest in corporate policy. However, Indian tribes throughout North America practice management by consensus. Although leaders govern Indian peoples, these leaders did not command people to carry out orders. All right. Instead, they generally served by example. Decision making for matters affecting the tribe generally took place in council meetings that often lasted until complete consensus was reached, so that even those who did not totally agree with the choice had a chance to resign themselves to it. Which is, you don't get much honored than that nowadays, man. Come on now. It says the process, although sometimes lengthy, drew on the collective wisdom of tribal members and created a unified sense of community. And it says you can see the caucus to get more into that. And they only pretty much got one source for that, man, just to prove that it was actually, what was going on. And this is the world of the Indian people before the arrival of Christopher Columbus or arrival of Columbus. It's a dagger, man. I mean, this is something that shouldn't be taken lightly because a lot of people try to act like definitely us, like as if we didn't have any type of structure around here, man. They try to, like you said, they want to throw us in the woods for some reason. Still to this day, you got people want to throw us in the woods, man. Look at that. You see compasses right there. Mesoamerican. I mean, come on, man. A compass 3,000 years ago. I mean, what we talking about? So what I'm gonna do is, man, I'm gonna go up and I wanted to look at Civic Centers, because I felt like it was something that was needed to be stressed, man. A lot of people don't take heed to what the actual Civic Centers was. Actually, the Cahokia Mound, Monk's Mound, was actually a Civic Center. Still pretty much is. It just takes us as the people to come together and revive these areas, man, and put it back on the pedestal, that it was in a new way. It don't have to be the old way. It can be a new way. You know what I'm saying? It can be pretty much, however or whatever we got to use now to make it happen, man. Get the music going, get the festivals going, get a good planning on that. Have the proper food, for our specific diet, hey, turkey, you know what I'm saying? Corn, all the good vegetation that we like to mix up and make soups and stews out of. Like, come on now, we got it. Fish, you know what I'm saying? We can bring it back. It's nothing. We need to do it anyway so we can be respected as a people again, man. Bring back this great law of peace. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the Constitution was copied off of, the great law of peace, which is something that we already had established, especially down here in the South. All we got to do is reestablish it as a people. It's a good note to take petition of because it actually have a lot of our ways of life on how we handle business and govern each other, man. All right. So Civic Centers, man. Just to give y'all a view of what I'm talking about as far as Civic Centers. Of course, like I say, Uh, you see here, you got Cahokia Mound. You know, a lot of people still go up Ohio and see what the Monk's Mound energy and feel the vibe. You know, they go to see exactly what it was, man. As you see, you know, this is an area, you know, it don't look like it did before, but you do a little manicuring on the land, get the right people involved, and it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? We can make it work. We can make it work, man. Um, Another one, even they showing Mississippi right here, but this wouldn't be exactly how it would have been, I don't think. But if it was, hey, it is what it is. But you can see the Mississippian culture. Uh, what else we got? I think I got one of Cusco. Yeah, this would have been a civic center. Cusco, this is down in Peru, which is known to be the navel of the earth, according to the ancient ones on behalf of the Americas. Uh, the navel of the earth, basically, you know, saying this is the belly, the center point of the earth. Not alone just America, but of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess pretty much you can get, you know, just like up here, you know, a vast area of civic arena style. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are we doing, man? But let's get into it. Says Civic Centers, Plazas, which there are multiple, man. Like I said, you even got down there where they just, you know, well, they're not that just founded, but Guatemala would have been considered, you know, the area they got down there dealing with the pyramid, La Donta. Of course, that would have been a civic center. You can look at the Anasazi, check out the Anasazi area, you know, that would have definitely been one of the main civic centers. Look up in Huron going up towards Indiana and that, you know, those areas between Philly and stuff like that. Those are the Huron. You know, you had those areas, and it's a lot of areas all over that, you know, that you can actually find. Wherever you see the mounds or pyramids, that is pretty much where our civic centers. And it's where we actually held a lot of the festivals, the main festivals, in considering of the consensus education, the compulsory education. Civic centers, plazas, pre-contact. Once again, Mesoamerica, South American, Andean, North American, Southeast, and Southwest cultures. So this is all over pretty much the Americas again, man. Civic centers, pre-contact, before any other influence of foreign persuasion or association. So many population centers throughout the pre-Columbian Americas were arranged around a main plaza or civic center. Often these plazas were laid out based on astronomical observations. Okay, so these places were definitely built to be in alignment with a certain energy for us to channel in and harness in. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, just certain seasonal events, you know, maybe the spring equinox, you know, summer, fall, and winter. You know, just, you know, North America especially is one of the only places where you're gonna get all 4 seasons. You know, which says a lot if you really look at just life in general. You know what I'm saying? To host all varieties of weather and to actually see it all in one year, you know, you got to really take honor into that, because a lot of people don't even get that type of, you know, appliance to their area. You know what I'm saying? That this don't apply to all over the world. Most of this only applies to America. It says here the Olmec, the first great Mesoamerican civilization, which arose in about 1700 BC, which is roughly 3,700, you know, years ago, if not more. You know, like I say, this would be at least. All right, so at least 3,700 years ago, constructed cities with ball courts in the center. See, basketball. And this is one, we'll check out as soon as we get finished, man, because I actually had to check some guys about, you know, saying that, hey, the Europeans created basketball. Well, maybe this style in a sense of what they done incorporated and put out here for what they want basketball to be. But anciently, the first basketball, even, basketball courts were known to be in the Americas before any type of European or foreign contact. So they might have switched the style in somewhat, but they didn't get basketball from their own thoughts or their own attributes of whatever they created. They got this strictly from the Americas, buddy. So archaeologists believe that the Civic Centers flanked by pyramids, such as those located in the Aztec cities of Tenochtitlan or Teotihuacan, were used primarily for ceremonial purposes. All right. Primarily for ceremonial purposes. And like I say, this is Civic Centers. The Aztec culture, which arose in Mesoamerica, 1100 AD. All right, it says Mississippian towns in North America were also arranged around a central plaza. All right, shout out to Mississippi. The Grand Plaza at Cahokia, located in what is now southern Illinois, encompassed 40 acres and was surrounded by temples and the homes of leaders. Right, that's why I just showed y'all them two areas, just to give y'all the idea. And some people do still go to these places, man. This is something we all should really get together on. Like I say, just come up with a plan to bring it back, man, all the way back. It says the construction of Cahokia was begun in about 800 AD. Compounds of dwellings surrounded smaller community plazas scattered throughout the site. The Natchez, another mound building Mississippian people living in what is now Louisiana, also built plazas. Okay. Mississippian culture began about, they saying, roughly at least 3,500 years ago, which is 1500 BC, and flourished from 900 AD to 1250 AD in the North American South and Lower Midwest. So basically, it was just saying it was being enhanced all the way up through those times, Plazas were also an integral part of North American southwestern cities. Anasazi builders who constructed Pueblo, Bonito, and the other multi-storied adobe buildings in Chaco Canyon, located in what is now Mexico. So a lot of, when you see the adobe, a lot of that style is around in them areas. It says arrange them around large courtyards that served as common areas. It says the Anasazi, the ancestors of today's Pueblo people, lived in the North American Southwest starting in about 350 BC. It says they began to build cities filled with adobe apartment complexes in about 700 AD. And they actually do show you, an apartment. Once you get to the A section, when you're in the A section, you can go to apartments. They actually show you how the apartments look, man. 700 AD. Let's get it, y'all. Ain't nobody living outside in the woods, man, unless they chose to. The only ones who was doing that is these nomads who came from far out, wanting to be part of this domain, wanting to be part of the Americas. These are the only people, the so-called Bering Strait or whoever, they would be the only ones who didn't live in a building or some type of structure, of this physique. Because for one, it's kind of insane to want to travel through some cold mountains and you don't know what's taking place or what type of animal or whatever situation may cause, I don't care if you're moving around with a tent or what, you got to be out of your mind to travel thousands of miles walking herding animals or whatever with some people and children, man. I mean, to me, if you did that, maybe they could have did that back in the day, but to me, I don't see that happening too much. It says a more modern example of the Civic Center approach to urban living is that of the Creek. All right, shout out to the Creek. Say who lived in what are now Georgia, Northern Florida, and the Carolinas. Okay, and the Creek, you know what I'm saying? I think it's really they call it Creek more so even because of a lot of the creeks that carry a lot of vegetation around these creeks and minerals and a lot of these creeks, when you go to them, you can find crystals and all type of stones, you know what I'm saying, that develop naturally, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, hey, it's always good to check out. It says they built their wattle and daub dwellings around a civic plaza known as a square ground. It was here that residents held green corn ceremonies, and here where the village leaders met in the great council to decide community matters. In the summer, they would sit in the open, but in the winter, they gathered in a communal townhouse located near the square ground. All right, so like I say, man, nobody's building a tent to stay outside, man. We already had townhouses, adobe apartments, specified buildings, man. We was doing carpentry, man, whether it was wood or whatever. So they call these townhouses chakofas. Okay, look good. Pretty. All right, you gonna let me finish? Okay. Well, you need to fix that too. I don't think you got it on right. Go tell your mom to fix it. A little 4-year-old right there, man. All right. It says they call these townhouses shakofas. It says round and with high cone shaped roofs. The shakofas range from 30 to 60 feet in diameter. All right. That's pretty big. You know what I'm saying? It says as many as 500 people could be seated on rows of raised platforms. It says these tiers resembled bleachers. All right. So, hey, what are we doing, man? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? We acting civilized, folks. This is not no savagery, man. Let's we gotta throw all that out the window. I hear about these TikTokers and all this and that, man. I'm not even on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I think I get enough live footage and distractions with YouTube. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I could care less. My daughters had TikToks years ago, so I just felt like that was something for the children, man. But I see it's supposedly growing now, or whatever. But anyway, man, it says yeah, in the wintertime, townhouses provided shelter for the elderly or people who found themselves without a place to live. Okay, so you when nobody just, homeless wasn't even technically just living out there in the woods if they ain't want to. I mean, let's just be real. It says the building of these community halls was a communal effort. You better like eat right now. That's great. It said the building of these community halls was a communal effort. According to a report by artist John McStanley, who traveled among the Creek in 1843, the town spiritual leader made a model of the planned building and distributed the sticks he had used to construct it among residents. They were responsible for cutting the logs, the twigs represented. Okay, it says, see also architect. All right. The Yuki, Cherokee, and Chickasaw, who lived in North America's southeast, also constructed townhouses that served as the center of religious and governmental activities for the people in their villages. Okay. These, along with the plaza, were the central focus of the villages. You know what I'm saying? Just sound like just great people, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I ain't heard nobody going out to even hunt animals yet. You see what I'm saying? And this is all pre-contact. It says, in addition to the square ground, towns built by Southeast tribes typically featured a central field covered with fresh sand called the swept area. This served as a ball court and was used for games such as chunky and one that resembled field hockey. Come on now. Field hockey, fellas. What we doing? What are we doing? It says chunky, which was played throughout the Southeast, involved rolling a stone across a field and trying to hit it with a pole, similar to bowling. What are we doing? That's similar to bowling. That's almost bowling, y'all. Come on now. It says the games were sometimes played to resolve disputes between towns and to make political alliances. I mean, what are we talking about? They didn't say nobody was throwing hands. They didn't say nobody had a sword fight or whatever. We might have had an archery battle. You know what I'm saying? See who can hit the target the best. You know, we might have you know, some tug of war or something. You know, something like that. But hey, it seemed like we used these festivities of our games to settle beef. I don't think it get no civilized in that, man. You know what I'm saying? It kept the fighting down. It kept down, you know, putting people in danger. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to say that nobody get hurt. Somebody might have did, you know, who knows, man. You know, you can't speak for everyday life. You know, I'm pretty sure somebody might have did throw some hands. Somebody might have did get slapped a few times. You know, I'm not gonna throw that out there like that. You know, just act like, oh, we were just all in some type of heaven. But I'm just saying, though, I mean, we got proof and evidence right here that, you know, we were not savage, man. We were not savage. So I did want to show the basketball. I think this is something when we did this, I think AP kind of went over basketball. Hope I ain't hurt nobody's eyes, man. Compasses, like I say, man, this is something I would go over, but you know, I'm trying to keep it in the realm of what we. I mean, I could read that, you know, if y'all, you know, maybe I'll go back to that. But I did want to kind of stay on topic of them showing what we was actually utilizing in the civic centers and in these areas where education and our people was thriving, you know. So bear with me, y'all. I ain't trying to hurt nobody eyes. They go books right there. They got that calculated, you know, 660 AD. That's books. But I want to show y'all the basketball, man, just to show, because you know, even now today, man, like I had to let it be known, you know, these guys in Europe right now, for the past, I know, probably 10, 15 years, it's been proven that those guys have been receiving professional style training as children. You see what I'm saying? As children. And okay, we get to it right here. As children. And you know, this is not just by some mishap. This was, you know, to receive professional style training as children and teenagers is gonna always give you an advantage. So that's why you see these guys, you know, coming over here pretty much already elite, you know, at young ages. They got the diet, you know what I'm saying? They got, like I say, the training. They just receiving a vast advanced way of playing basketball, where here in America, you know, we still grind. You know, most people starting at 8 and under, then going to 10 and under, 12 and under. Okay. By this time, you probably playing middle school basketball. All right. Then you work your way to high school, then college. and hope to get in the NBA. If not the NBA, then you might go to the G League or deal with the D League. So we got tiers that we got to fight through, while these guys over here, and especially in Europe, you know what I'm saying, they receiving the most advanced training for basketball. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, this is what we got to get back into. We gotta, we gotta find a way to if this is what we're gonna do, because this is part of our culture, Like I said, if we handled wars and beefs with this type of culture with sports and stuff like that, then we can still do that today. It don't have to be game banging. It don't have to be uh doing all these other type of dangerous, pulling out guns, beating people with bats type ordeals. You know what I'm saying? We can get back to that, even if you are part of the game, or if you part of whatever type system or organization. Build your team up. I'm gonna build my team up, and we gonna play for whatever reason that we gotta hash it out. I mean, I don't think it gets no better than that, man. We can really bring that back and just do it a new way. But basketball, man, this was part of the civic centers. Most civic centers carry basketball courts in the Americas. See what I'm saying? So basketball calculated 1,000 BC. They saying at least 3,000 years ago they can put a stamp on that. At least Mesoamerican, North American, Southwest cultures. Okay, so basketball, a team sport in which points are scored by throwing a rubber ball through a hoop, is an all-American game that most people believe was invented about 100 years ago. In truth, it was played by American Indians about 3,000 years ago. Okay, the Olmec, who lived in what is now southern Mexico and Central America from about 1700 BC to 400 BC, originated the game because latex producing trees grew in their area, and they had developed the technology to create balls made from rubber. Okay, because this game is the first one known to have used a rubber ball, many anthropologists consider it to be the forerunner of all modern games that use bouncing balls, including basketball, soccer, and football. Okay, so there you have it. I mean, this ain't nothing I'm just making up. This is by some of the experts in the research of this field, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't never speak on nothing I can't keep backed up. We got sources, we got evidence. It says both nobles and commoners played the game, and nearly every adolescent male participated. The nobility sponsored professional basketball teams that played on feast days. It says so important was the ball game to Olmec culture that huge stone ball courts were built in the central ceremonial areas of Olmec and later the Maya and Aztec. Okay. It says evidence of these impressive courts has been found from Honduras to Arizona. The archaeological remains of 600 ball courts have been found in Mexico alone. Man, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is a dagger, right? This is a thunderbolt. So they typically contain large circular stones with a hole in the center that were mounted high on the side walls of the playing field. Instead of being horizontal, these pre-Columbian hoops were mounted vertically. Many anthropologists think the game, which involved making goals by getting the ball through a stone or sometimes wooden hoop, spread throughout the Americas when the Indians of different areas visited one another. Archaeologists have found about 200 Hohokam ball courts in what is now Arizona. The Hohokam culture arose in about what they say 300 BC. It says both solid and hollow rubber balls have been found near the courts. I mean, what are we doing, man? As y'all see right here on the right, this is one of the ancient courts that was, they snapped a picture of. You know what I'm saying? Showing that we was playing basketball. I mean, what are we doing, man? Let me check, man. I know I shared the link and all. You know, my bad. If anybody did hit that link, I apologize if I didn't get you. I actually forgot I shared the link, y'all. So once again, man, salute, man. Hope y'all rocking with me and enjoying this, man. So shout out to everybody that came in, man. Young Cherokee, Peasy, KZ, Featherheart. Who else we got up in here, man? That's probably about it. Y'all know Big Dog Philly. You know what I'm saying? King Serpentine. The great BR, Brandon Rogers, man. Y'all already know. Dre Cobbs, the legend. Y'all make sure y'all get that album by Dre Cobbs, man. Matter of fact, Dre, well, if you, I don't know if you got my email. It's omacj@gmail.com. You know, send me that, you know, share the link to your album, man. You know, or you can put it in the chat, bro. Let me see if I can go ahead and take a mod right quick, man. Y'all bear with me. We're gonna get back to it, man. Yeah, we're gonna get back to it. But yeah, man, y'all share, man. Hit the like button, man. I know it's been a minute, but hey, we're gonna keep it rocking for right now. Let me get back to it, man. It says, as basketball spread, it eventually became more of a ritual than a recreational pastime. Some anthropologists who have studied hieroglyphics believe that the Maya impersonated the gods as they played, making the match a form of theater. Okay, so this is what nothing like, you know, all the time. It wasn't always in certain areas. It wasn't used just to recreational sport. It was used to actually show some type of ceremonial representation. You know what I'm saying? It says the precise details of how pre-Columbian basketball was played remain a mystery, but glyphs and small statues offer some clues. For years, archaeologists thought that the players were not allowed to touch the ball with their hands or feet, instead moving it from one end of the court to the other with their shoulders, elbows, hips, and knees, in play that must have resembled a very intense soccer game. Okay. So you see right there, man, they kind of just like it was almost intertwined with soccer and football, I guess, you know what I'm saying, all on a basketball court. You see what I'm saying? Which is major, you know, and everybody, you know, just basically done dissected it up to the day where we got soccer, football, and basketball. That's deep. That's heavy. It says recently some scholars have begun to disagree. Among them, archaeologist Nicholas Helmuth. All right. It says based on the evidence of two 8th century Maya sculptures and several Maya vases that show players with their hands on the ball, he believes players could in fact touch the ball and that the Maya played two types of games: a form of handball using a small, solid rubber ball, and what he calls the big ball, a ritualized form of the game using a large rubber ball. So that one probably would have been done, you know, with the hips or whatever. Got to take note of that. Two styles of basketball was being played. You know what I'm saying? Anciently. It says the notion that two distinct games developed is supported by the fact that the pre-Columbian basketball courts were built in two shapes. One like a capital T and the other a capital I. Okay. I think the one we just saw that's shaped over there to the right is like an I. It says both courts were large, 20 to 30 feet wide and 40 to 50 feet long. They were surrounded by 8.5-foot whitewashed walls on which the hoops were mounted. It said a line on the ground divided the court in half. It says tiered stone seats built into the walls indicate that the games attracted large crowds. Okay, so it was jumping. You know what I'm saying? This is hype. This is, you know, this is a festivity. It says the ancient basketball courts also had facilities where the teams prepared and dressed for the game. Locker rooms seem to have been as necessary and adjunct to basketball in ancient times as it is today. All right. Early Spanish explorers who watched the basketball game that the Aztec called Tlachtli or La Chitli admired the way the sports was played and commented on how dexterous and skilled the players were. Because the ball was so hard and the play so rough, the team members wore padding, much like a goalie on an ice hockey team does today. So you just see a lot of mixture of almost every sport in this one basketball court. You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, they doing it, man. It says Hernan Cortez liked the Indian sport so much that he took two teams back to Spain to play exhibition matches before European audiences. That's interesting. I wonder how that works. It says, however, basketball, let's go back up. Y'all bear with me. And like I say, that's like an I shape. It's like an I shape. But I don't know. I guess if it was flipped around, you do see the T. Like if you look at it from the other way, I can see the T too. So this might be a T shape right here. Yeah. This looks like a T shape. This is definitely it says, matter of fact, it says basketball court similar to this one at Xochitl in what is now Mexico served as the playing field for the game invented by the Olmec. It said whose culture arose in about 1700 BC. Players earned points by passing a rubber ball through vertical stone rings. All right? Whereas now it's horizontal. It says on the walls at each end of the court. So, like I said, if you look at it, this is more like you see the T right here and then going right there, But I can't tell if it's some space, It might be more space separating like it is now here, which it might be an I shape. But you could definitely see the T right here. So let's go. I wasn't finished reading exactly. Hold on, let me. Oh yeah, I got to start right. It says, however, basketball never caught on. It said, however, basketball never caught on in Europe. But like I say, to this day, you got Europeans who getting professionally styled training right now. You know what I'm saying? And this be a way to try to wash away our history, man. Think about it. Now they got 18-year-old, 17-year-old players coming over here playing professionally, getting picked first round, starting. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I say, our people facing all type of distractions and adversaries, man, trying to make it in the league, man. So you just got to peep game. It says, as the conquistadors spread through the Aztec and Maya empires under the direction of the Catholic Church, they suppressed all heathenish practices. It says of the indigenous people, including the game. So they was trying to basically deter us, get us to deter from this, trying to turn us away, Says James Naismith, a non-Indian teacher of Bible studies and physical education at the Young Men's Christian Association, which is the YMCA, training school in Springfield, Massachusetts, reinvented basketball in the United States. Okay. So it's just showing you, okay, in the United States, basically saying this was something that got incorporated by way of the US and was presented back to us North Americans in this form of fashion that we see today. So they trying to give credit to James Naismith, with the way you see basketball today. It's faced with a gym class full of bored and rebellious students, he was desperate to keep them occupied during the winter of 1891. He tried to modify the rules of lacrosse, another game invented by American Indians. It says so that it could be played indoors. It says when that failed, he came up with a game in which points were scored by players getting the ball in a peach baskets mounted on the end walls of the gym. His version of the game borrowed some of the offenses, fast breaks, and defenses from the strategies of lacrosse. All right, since he also held in sports, and this is some of the sources right here, man. People can, if y'all want to check out whenever you get time, you know. Um, like I say, man, this is just something that got to consider, man. I mean, this is heavy. This is heavy, man. Uh, I'm trying to see if I can. Matter of fact, let me see if I can go to balls. I might have went too far. Y'all bear with me. There we go. I know, like I say, man, I don't, this is right here on the right, this would be what the model of an ancient basketball player, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing, man? Shout out to the American Godz, man. You know what I'm saying? We reinvented. We came back to really, we got to reclaim it, man. It ain't got to be the old way. It could be the new way. You know what I'm saying? Just look at Buddy. You know what I'm saying? That's one of y'all great uncles, man. Might be one of your granddaddies, something. You know? It says this hollow clay whistle in the shape of a Maya ball player shows him holding a rubber ball. Rubber balls that American Indians made before contact with Europeans had been found throughout Mesoamerica, the earliest date, man. I mean, what we doing, man? It's a dagger. It's a dagger, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not to be taken lightly. It's not to be taken lightly. They got it calculated 1700 BC. That's roughly 3,700 years ago, almost 4,000 years ago. At least. You know what I'm saying? Because it really ain't no beginning to this, man. Like, think how long it came to actually come up with the sport and actually perform in the ways that they had to perform. You just got to consider that. You really got to consider that, man. What else I had lined up, man? It was something else I wanted to get into with y'all real quick, man. Of course, barbershops. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, the base 20 mathematical system. I think it's something. Matter of fact, I think AP went over basketball, and I think A1 went over the base 20 mathematical system. So we're gonna look into that, and they're giving this to the Mesoamerican coaches. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look into this right quick, man, and I'm gonna see what y'all talking about in the chat for a little bit, man. I just really wanted to do kind of a recap on what we did go over in American Guys. This is not all of it. This is pretty much just a review of what we did mention in the American Guys Part 1, man. Like I said, that video was taken down due to the AP channel being flagged actually to death. So just kind of doing a rehash, man. It says base 20 mathematical system, 31 BC. Okay. Say in mathematics, a base is the number that, when raised to certain powers, make up the basic units used for counting. For example, the components used as placeholders in the Arabic base 10 system that is common throughout the world today are ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Mesoamericans invented a mathematical system using a base 20 system. It says some ethnologists speculate that the 20 was used as the base of the indigenous American system because early Mesoamerican people initially used both fingers and toes for performing calculations. You see what I'm saying? We learn how to utilize all. Okay? We learn how to utilize all. It says the Maya, whose culture arose in about 1500 BC, have often been credited with inventing the base 20 system. Maya mathematicians are considered to have been the most sophisticated in the New World. However, the Olmec may have invented the system much earlier. Okay, an Olmec stele or stone pillar carved with the equivalent of the date 31 BC. All right, it says in bar and dot notations is the oldest proof for a mathematical system and a calendar in the New World. All right. The Olmec civilization arose in the Yucatan Peninsula of what is now southern Mexico in about 1700 to 400 BC. It says in the Mesoamerican system of numeric notation, a dot stood for 1 unit and a bar stood for 5. A shell symbolized 0, a concept invented by Mesoamerican mathematicians. Okay, so this is it sounds simple, but it's advanced if you really think about what they actually did. It says, like the numbers in the Arabic numeral system, the first 9 in the Mesoamerican system were unique. Combining the symbols for 1 through 9 with the symbol for 10 formed the numerals 11 through 19. After that, numbers were organized in multiples of 20. The numbers were written from top to bottom, and the value of these bars and dots were determined by the positions in which they were written. Okay. And I'm going to go up the calendars after this just to give another clarification on how the math was even being more measured astronomically. It says, in addition to being used for calendar calculations, mathematics was used by the Maya and Aztec to figure daily transactions in the marketplace. Maya merchant used cacao beans, all right, or other counters arranged on a flat surface to do the math. Okay. It says evidence exists that the Maya and Aztec used an abacus as well. Y'all know the abacus is like the ones, it's the little setup where you got it might be bordered, and then they have a row of different like beads or beams, and it lets you know where you can slide over and count the they used to give us these when I was young in my kindergarten, man. This is something that my kindergarten actually gave us abacus to use for math. I wish I still had it, man. That thing might have broke. It says they performed addition and subtraction by adding or subtracting counters from the proper row. Because the system contained a 0, multiplication and division could also be performed, making it more versatile than the system of Roman numerals used in Europe at the time. Okay. It says, although the Mesoamerican mathematical system could not handle fractions, which is probably both, it says it was sophisticated and allowed extremely accurate calculations. So much so that the Maya and Aztec calendar systems that were constructed using it are some of the most precise in the world. The base 10 system of mathematics is a relatively new numeric system to Europe, having been introduced by the Moors who invaded Spain during the 11th century. All right, that's a dagger. So saying that the Moors introduced the 10 base mathematics system. It says Islamic mathematicians had learned the concept of place value in base 10 in about 850 AD. Olmec mathematicians invented the concepts at least 200 years before. Okay, at least 200 years before. All right, so this is something more advanced and older. The Chinese also adopted the Arabic system before the 11th century. Europeans practiced Greek mathematics that used a base 60 system, borrowed from the Hittites who invented it. Okay, so they went up to 60 base. All right, it says the Zuni, a Pueblo people living in what is now the southwestern United States, independently invented a base 10 system before contact with Europeans. The Pomo, living in what is now Southern California, also used a base 10 system for counting and record keeping and were able to express numbers in the thousands. So we talking about thousands of years ago, man. People actually counting up to the thousands and hundreds and stuff like that, man. Here's the sources for those who definitely want to check out where do they derive all this information from. Matter of fact, while we at it, let's look up the backers right quick, man. So that way people can know exactly what I was talking about. When y'all see it, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all already probably do. But for those who come in and who don't know, these right here, man, you know what I'm saying? And some people still use these. These you can see these in some classrooms today, you know what I'm saying? This is what it was, man. This is one of the, I had one of these as a youngin', man. Miss Rainey was my teacher when I was in kindergarten. She actually made us one. She made me and my brother one, man. And man, I wish I still had that thing, because this it just shows that our people have a natural encoding of high ways of creation and dealing with the math, man. Rolls over to do your addness, just to give people an idea of that real quick. I'm gonna go to calendars real quick, and then shoot, man, I'm gonna see if anybody got any questions or anything, man. I'm gonna hold y'all up too long. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of give a good breakdown of what was being shared in American Gods Part 1, man. Hopefully A1 and AP can back me up with this. Whenever they get the chance, man. I kind of just did this on the fly because I was just like, man, somebody shared a TikTok video with me, and it's still people trying to play this, obviously. So, I'm just here to give us some more evidence, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a chief or anything myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just your big bro coming down, from the celestial to give us our due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we'll go ahead and look at the Mayan calendar. As you see, this is the Mayan calendar that is one of the most, if not the most precise calendar ever found in the world. I think even today, the calendar system that they use today is more based off what the Mayan calendar consists of. It's a lot of fours and eights when you really look at the rotation of the calendar. And when you look at the display and you count certain marks, it working more so like eights and fours, which eight meaning, eight is the symbol for infinity anyway. So it kind of makes sense to me just to not get so technical about it. Eight, doing breaking things down in eights or adding things by eights. Not only that, breaking it down. Okay, well, it's full, so we got 4 seasons. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to say multiples of 4, you can say that as well, because it's still going to 8. This right here says Mesoamerican calendars were extremely accurate. By the 5th century BC, American Indian astronomers had calculated a year's length so precisely that it was off by only 19 minutes. I mean, come on, man. They really like 19 minutes off? That ain't even off. That's not off to me. You know what I'm saying? They basically saying it's still within a day's time. It's just a 19-minute fracture. Like, come on, man. What we doing? What we talking about? Say this mosaic is a reproduction of an Aztec calendar. All right, it's a reproduction style. So This is more so, like I say, this is more like what the Mayan calendars and stuff look like. So this is the Aztec style, but it's basically the same, the same motif basically. So we're gonna read this right quick, man. We're gonna see what's up. It says calendar 600 BC. All right, so that's roughly 2,600 years ago. They trying to say, which, of course, they saying that the Mayan calendar counts up to 2,600 years, or in actual age cycle of 24,000 years, um, it gets it in. I mean, it's just showing you small cycles to major cycles, to even where they can count the different age changes, just like we're supposed to be going in Aquarius right now. The Mayan calendar definitely supposed to line up with that type of date and alignment. It says Mesoamerican, South American, Andean, North American, Great Plains, Southwest, and Southeast cultures. All right. So basically, we was basically keeping up with a lot of the dates here, right here in North America and Mexico, going down to South America, the whole Americas pretty much. We were keeping up with, how to count for time and cycles. It says American Indians throughout North America, Mesoamerica, and South America used astronomical observation to create calendar systems. It said systems of reckoning the passing of time. The oldest of these calendars are the stone medicine wheels and what are now Montana and Saskatchewan. Okay. It says the stone spokes of these wheels have been shown to align to the rising of stellar constellations at the time of the summer solstice. Okay. And this explains why we even had like I say, the Civic Centers and, the way we did it, all this was to invoke the cycles when time was changing. It went to remind everyone what's coming, It says one of these stone wheels, the Bighorn medicine wheel in Montana, is estimated to be several hundred years old. Based on astronomical calculations, it says features of the Bighorn medicine wheel align to the sunrise at the summer solstice. Okay. Other features are aligned to the rising of the constellations Aldebaran and Sirius. Okay. So we know we get a lot. We hear about for people who have studied, you hear about the Dogon studying the Sirius constellations, you know what I'm saying, and how they was basically able to chart it with their own eye. And we got it right here that obviously we were doing the same. I ain't gonna say simultaneously or nothing like that, but it just goes to show that some of the most high people, man, when you connected, you just connected. And I ain't never really tried to put that type of energy in one area, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of features across the world that share some of the same features that we share. And not to take nothing from nobody else or nothing like that, man. We all gotta bring this thing together to really recognize how everybody was in sync or at one time had some type of alignment with the most high creation, man. It says a wheel at Moose Mountain in Canada with similar alignments has been carbon dated to be about 2,600 years old. Say many such medicine wheels have been found throughout the northern plains of the United States and Canada, located in relatively remote areas. Okay, remote areas. They were built on high hills or bluffs that would have offered ancient astronomers unobstructed stargazing. All right, unobstructed, which basically means like, hey, clear view. Mesoamerican calendars were extremely sophisticated and accurate. Archaeologists believe the Maya, whose culture arose about 1500 BC, which is roughly 3,500 in Mesoamerica, says calculated these calendars. The Aztec, whose empire was established in the same region about 1100 AD, adopted them. Says this Mesoamerican system was composed of several calendars, each of which served a different purpose. The day count was a 260-day ritual almanac, all right, used primarily to time religious ceremonies, name children, and predict the future. This is not savagery, people. This is not savagery. You know what I'm saying? This is advanced, human, well out, socialized, unit core thinking. You see what I'm saying? This is core thinking right here and application. All right. It says the earliest known stone carving to display elements of the 260-day calendar is Monument 3 from San Jose Mogote, located in the valley of Oaxaca. Oaxaca. All right. It says 9 miles north of the ruins of the ancient Zapotec city of Monte Alban. This carved stone is between 2,600 and 2,500 years old. So they finding, like, they giving you, like, this is some in sync stuff. They finding the same type stones, medicine wheels, and calendars and stuff that's basically dated around the same time. You see what I'm saying? It says the Maya and Aztec also kept an annual calendar based on the sun, containing 365 days that were arranged into 18 months of 20 days each. All right. So I mean, you can just break it down however, you know what I'm saying? 20 months, 12 months, 12 months, 30 days to 30, 31. Or you can do 18 months with 20 days. You see what I'm saying? It says this calendar was used to determine the seasons and to schedule events such as market gatherings and crop planting. Without telescopes or the mathematical concepts of fractions, early Mesoamerican people by the 5th century BC had calculated a year's length so precisely that it was only 19 minutes off. All right, and we just went over that, man. And like I said, this is heavy, man. Like, this ain't nothing. I know it just sound, hey, yeah, okay, but if you really put yourself in a mind state of, just looking at where we at now and just imagining, the consciousness back then, it really should help you align with what we're dealing with. It says only the Chinese equaled this amazing feat of observation and calculation. It says the scientific tools the Mesoamerican astronomers used to construct their calendars were shadow casting devices, accurate observation, and meticulous record keeping. Okay. It says in addition to the solar or sidereal calendar, the Maya devised a lunar calendar. This calendar consisted of alternating periods of 29 and 30 days in order to compensate for the actual time it took for one lunar cycle. Okay, so there we go. This is how basically our calendar is structured off the moon. Why? Because each month contains up to 30 days. You see what I'm saying? Some 31. February is the shortest month for some reason. It says, like their solar calendar, it was accurate. Modern ethno-astronomers have not yet discovered its purpose. The 260-day and 365-day calendars were used side by side at least 2,400 years ago. Okay? Side by side, man. Why not do that? Why not? It says their interlocking combination produced a cycle of dates that did not repeat for 52 years. This was called the calendar round, beginning with the start of the Maya world. Okay? Interesting. It says calendar rounds were used to keep track of historical events and consisted of 52-year-long cycles, which the Maya called Jum. I ain't even finna butcher that. Umopolis, or year bundles. The Maya long count a unique calendar system that kept track of 5,128 years, had fallen out of use before the Europeans came. The long count cycle, according to some archaeoastronomers, is supposed to end on December 21st, 2012. Okay, so that would have been, you know, that whole the world ending, you know, and things have kind of got a little bit more, I would say, faster since. You know, it seems like it seems like just days are going by faster since 2012. You know what I'm saying? And December 21st would be the winter solstice for the cycle. It says the Inca, who established an empire in the Andes along the coast of what is now Peru, 1000 AD, says devised a calendar that was more tied to agricultural purposes than other Mesoamerican calendars. They timed the first plowing and planting seasons to the sun's nadir, which is the lowest point, and the summer solstice. Okay. It says phases of the moon determined the dates that were set for Inca religious festivals. See what I'm saying? It says Inca calendars integrated both lunar and solar counts. Several Inca roads leading from the temple of the sun are arranged astronomically. Serving as a sort of calendar, some archaeologists believe that many of the Nazca lines on the pampas of what is now Peru, which were created between about 400 BC and 600 AD, may have astronomical, all right, meaning and might have served calendar functions. The Anasazi, whose culture arose in the desert southwest of what is now the United States in about, they're saying, 350 BC, and lasted until about 1450 AD. It says, built a calendar at Chaco Canyon in what is now New Mexico. Okay, so you can go to Chaco Canyon and should find some remnants of that. It says they arranged large rock slabs atop a high butte so that shafts of sunlight fell between them on a carving of a spiral drawn onto a cliff. High science. You see what I'm saying? That's high science, you know, to trace down the exact location of where you can catch these angles. As the angle of the sunlight changed with the seasons, shafts of light fell on different parts of the carving, enabling those who knew how to read them to tell important dates. It's called the Sun Dagger calendar. It is at least 700 years old and it has been termed a work of genius by archaeologists. Okay. In Cahokia, the largest settlement built by the Mississippian culture in about 1100 AD, near the site of modern St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to the Lou. Archaeologists have found a calendar device they call Woodhenge. It consists of large oval-shaped pits that once contained posts arranged in a circle. These were aligned to the position of the sun at equinoxes and solstices. Okay. It says ochre, a natural iron oxide pigment found in the holes, indicates that the poles were painted red. Each circle had a center post where perhaps an astronomer stood to observe sunrises on the eastern horizon. All right. It says the Hopi people of the American Southwest have used horizon calendars for centuries, timing their annual ceremonies to the position of the sun as it rises over the San Francisco peaks to the southwest of their homes. The geographical features of their mountains, such as notches and mesas, serve as the markers on the ingenious landscape calendar. Okay, so this calendar served a very practical agricultural purpose. All right, by watching the sky and noting the rising and setting position of the sun and moon, the Hopi could tell when crops were ready to plant. Archaeological experiments have shown that by predicting the summer solstice, Hopi farmers could avoid freezing crops with great accuracy. They're just ahead of the game, just being ahead of the game. It says In more modern times, a Ho-Chunk or Winnebago spiritual leader carved a calendar stick in the 1800s that served to mark both lunar and solar calendars based on his observations. The stick has been determined by some astronomers to be the most sophisticated and accurate calendar device made in North America, man. So there you have it, man. It says see almanacs, because of course the almanac is basically showing you what time to plant, when the seasons, and when you expect the weather to change and all that. You see what I'm saying? Astronomy, observatories. A lot of the observatories had uh forts of man, I know one of the pyramids had an observatory style shape, as far as the top of the pyramid could rotate with the sun, you know what I'm saying, or the moon. And I mean, you talking about some advanced stuff. I know they was saying it was they was using mercury to use for hydraulic movement of these stones, man. They were using mercury. So however they, you know, transpired it is beyond me. It says astronomical road systems. Okay, even road systems were based off the alignment of, you know, what we were dealing with, astrology and mathematics. So there you have it, man. You see, here's some of the sources that, you know, very well vouch for the topic of calendars, man. This ain't nothing, you know, this ain't nothing to take lightly, you know what I'm saying? You talking about stuff out of Cambridge University, you know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff was published in certain articles, and certain people, you know, wrote books that, you know, you just gotta look and dig for, man. Just gotta look and dig for, you know. But yeah, man, I'm gonna take it, you know, see what's up for a second, fellas. You know, I hope y'all really did enjoying that, man. Y'all, you know, hope it wasn't too draining. Hope it wasn't keeping you too, you know, rocking you to sleep or nothing, man. I'm trying to make sure y'all really get the drift of how advanced our people is, and still really are to this day. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I say, man, shout out to everybody who joined, man. Indigenous Minds, Ohio players, salute, bro. He said also follow Venus. That's right, man. I know the Mayans were heavily on tracing down Venus, and I think they went by that 200. It was like 260. I think they went by that count system according to Venus, because they use Venus as a symbol of the sun as well. You know, hey, we here, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we still here, man. You know, much honor and appreciation to everybody, man. Once y'all tap in, man, and you know, I'm gonna try to get the channel back popping, man. Uh, I know it's been a minute, man. Just trying to, you know, let everything level out. Tell your sister to do it. Why you got all that on anyway? Well, tell us what's her name yet. Well, you gotta take that off. You got on too much. You got on too much. Tell her to pull it off for you. I know how them little girls is, but they be wanting to play dress up, stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna post this link one more time, man, in case anybody want to join in real quick, man. You know, and ask some questions, or even just add to it, man. We could get it in for at least another 30 or so. You know, I ain't gonna try to hold y'all all day, man. I know it's been a minute, man. You know, I feel good doing this though. You know, this is what I came to do, man. I came to really break down the levels of you know, advanced civilization, and the levels that we can all obtain even more of. You know, it ain't gone nowhere. We still got it in us. It's encoded. You know what I'm saying? we just got to utilize each other wisely, man. Just like I said with the educational system, our compulsory education consisted of us being on our best behavior and taking all these features from like I say, from military tactics to building, astronomy, religious and spiritual purposes. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is our culture. This is how we get down, This is how we get down, man. So tell these fake TikTok and whoever people, if they want that smoke, come on that Jag. You know what I'm saying? I still, I don't mind. You know, you know, hey, I stay ready to bang it out on a mental level. You know what I'm saying? You know, people try to downplay the work and downplay, what we bringing out here. We just showing how we invented great. We're not taking away from nobody. We just stamping our name. We hear about everybody else doing this and that. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing they trying to give us is saying we black. When ain't nobody black, technically speaking. You know what I'm saying? We just strictly Americans. Some of us may have came from others, persuaded bloodlines or whatever. But hey, if you vibing with this, you on this frequency, man. You definitely one of us. You know what I'm saying? We here, man. Some of the most advanced people on the planet. You did good job. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, man, shout out to everybody, man. Brother Cato, I see you, man. Cato Morris jumped in. Like I say, anybody else that do come in later, man, that see the live, man, y'all know. Just here to help get some clarification, man. And plus, like I say, the American Godz Part 1 was taken down due to AP channel being able to it had got deleted. And we did it on that one because AP had one of the biggest channels at the time, man. He had got up to like 50,000 subscribers, being consistent. I know it was a couple of things that he did that did cause a lot of disruption or whatever as far as the channel, man, allowing certain behavior or certain things to go on, man. Not only that, a number of other things, man, so it is what it is, man, but we're just gonna keep it rocking, man. Like I say, it is what it is, man. Like we're trying to get somebody to hop in. Who is this? Is this the GOAT? Is it so? Yo, what it do, man? Chief Holiday? What we doing, man?
Peace to the God, man. How you feeling, brother? Peace to the fam.
Man, you already know, bro. Shit, man. Just trying to make sure everybody remember, how far advanced we is, man. I think people be forgetting, man. I think they be forgetting, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remind them sometimes, I think we get a little strayed off with the beef and other various topics, man. We gotta remember, man, we are somebody. You know what I'm saying? We stamped, we stamped, man. What's been going on with you though, big bro? You already know, man. Much honor, man. Salute. You there, Chief? Might have a little slight delay or something, man. Yeah,
Jag, peace, man. Yeah, man, I'm just moving around right now, man. I want to tap in with you, man. So what's up? I ain't talk to you in a minute.
Oh, word.
Drive, man.
You already know, man.
You was doing a replay of the American Godz? Or you was just going in?
No, I ain't do the replay, man. Like I say, this was the one. This was part of the first one. I just kind of went over the topics I went over because the first one actually got taken down, man. It was on AP first channel. So, Yeah, man, that one in ghost mode right now. So I just try to, revive at least what I know the points I knew that stood out. I think A1 went over agriculture and a lot of the math and different sciences, and I think AP had went over road systems and a couple of other things, pyramids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to rehash it back a little bit, man. And like I say, somebody sent me a video of a TikToker basically trying to, and I'm just like, I didn't know all that was going on like that, man. The dude was kind of real disrespectful or whatever. So, I just wanted to go ahead and just put a little light out there, man. Set some bait, you know, can't give them too much, but line up some bait, man. Then a lot of people was taking a lot of the information we was using, man, and making private videos on a Patreon, man, and taking the information and getting paid off of it. I found out that was going on too. So, you know, just keeping it real for the team, man. Just keeping it authentic, man. That's all. Shoot. But yeah, man.
Yeah, well, that's been going on for a while, my brother. You know that.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't really
and
realize it at first, though.
the weirdo shit about it is that the community accepted that the people that these groupies around. Shout out to y'all, man, in the chat room, man. Y'all over here with one of the real ones, one of the horsemen, man. Shout out to Jag, man. Real talk, getting to the nuts and bolts of this shit. You know what I mean? And some solutions that come
There
from
you
the
go.
real make shit. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all.
Word, man. It's just, what I'm saying, just keeping it where we stay up, man. Like I say, man, I ain't gonna be on here too much longer, man. It's been like an hour, over an hour and a half. So, if anything you want to share, man, you can go ahead and lay it down, man. Like I say, man, I just wanted to make sure the people was reminded on, where we at and where we supposed to be taking it to, man. Showing these people that, we have a place on earth, as the God. And it shouldn't be looked over. That's why I was stressing that thing, this ordeal with basketball, man. These European players is getting professional style training as children, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the only way our people getting that is if they're around the pros who was in, what I'm saying, in the NBA. And it ain't too many pro players out here that got camps like that. Just bringing in, all the great players. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people down south still get overlooked, and have to fight through the grind. If you ain't Scottie Pippen's son or LeBron's son or nothing like that, man, you ain't gonna get too much light nowadays, dealing with all this social media and stuff like that. So they really amping up a lot of people from Europe, man, and they making them elite players, as teenagers. So I just wanted to show how our people definitely did a stamp on basketball. We were some of the first, if not the first, people to produce the sport, man. You know what I'm saying? So just to keep people reminded on, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be great in a sport or, in whatever culture activity you want to be in, man. Just put in that work, put in that grind, and stay with the ones who shine. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, we see what we up against. We gotta they bringing 7-foot point guards over here to try to take over the league, bro. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fight for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to just see us keep joining gangs and getting locked up and you know what I'm saying, being pushed to the G League. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta keep it coming, man. You know, that's all I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Uh I ain't gonna hold nobody too long, man. Uh I ain't mean to cut you off. Did I cut you off, Chi? I get, man. My bad. If you had
No,
anything else you
man.
wanted to say.
You cooking, man. I just say this, man. As it pertains to that, we need to be doing our own thing. Fuck them. How about that? You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right. That's right. That's right. And that's what I'm motivating, man. You know, just trying to say it without, you know, somebody making sure we get extra distracted again. Because, you know, last time we started planning all this stuff, man, what happened? COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild, man. You know, you'd be surprised how some of us who we think we not being heard, but we actually being heard, and we shape, we bring a frequency that people really want to be on, and you know, they got us this first go round. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. Shout out to the chat. Please like, share, subscribe, man. We're gonna try to get it back rolling. Um, I'm gonna do my best to be back. If not, sometime this week, it'll be next Saturday or Sunday. This Saturday or Sunday coming, man. So just give people enough time to kind of go over what I went over in this video. And if you want, try to catch up with some of the old ones. I know, you know, like I say, the algorithm all twisted up right now, man. So just making sure we stand, you know, on the same page with stuff, man. So won't nobody be out here getting beat up on by some fakes. You know what I'm saying? You can always use the American Indian Encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have it, we'll work something out. Just shoot me an email or something. I'll do my best. You know, you should be able to download the PDF online by now, as much as done been shared. But yeah, that's how we're gonna rock it, man. So much honor to everybody, man. Salute. You know, embrace your family, embrace your loved ones, and stay connected, man. Keep your hearts and your minds for the better, and always think abundant, and just keep the peace between one another, man. This is a good year to actually stand on business. So that's what we doing, man. But we out here though, y'all. Peace.